Evie, again, thank you for taking the time to do this. You know, like I mentioned before, video is definitely going to be, if you are teaching an online course, video is something you really need to learn how to do. Evie has been using Screencast-O-Matic for some time now, and she's been kind enough to take time from her busy schedule at home and at work to uh, come by and show us what she's doing in her class. So Evie, take over.
Sure, and thanks, Jose, for roping me into doing this. It sort of stems from I attended one of Jose's workshops. I'm just putting in my headphones here, um, and about Screencast-O-Matic and Loom, and I learned a lot from him. And then I was sort of interjecting some comments about, you know, issues I'd had or things that worked for me, and so we decided to try to combine forces and do a little um, session with both of us, coming from sort of different perspectives. So I have a few slides, mainly just sort of to give an overview and to sort of organize my thoughts a little bit, and then I think we'll be able to go over sort of how to access some of the tools and those sort of technical parts as well. And I can always like go to a Blackboard shell and show you sort of what my classes look like too, if that's helpful at all. And since the class is small, we have a lot of opportunity to stop and ask questions and chat and things like that. So feel free to stop me or Jose at any time with questions, either in the chat or just turn your mic on or video or whatever you want and interrupt us. So I was ranking this title and I realized the video tools for online learning and remote teaching. Really, videos I think now are a tool we can use for any of our teaching. I think something that we sort of learned under duress during the pandemic was that having lecture videos and doing live activities, sort of a flipped classroom model, can be really effective for a lot of classes. And so all of these video tools can be used for your in-person classes as well, especially if you want to really maximize your sort of engagement time with students in the classroom. Sometimes I'll just have my students look at a recorded lecture and then do more of a sort of hands-on, you know, group activity in class. So these are really tools that you can use at any time. Oh yeah, Jose, you're driving the presentation, I think. Yeah. So I tried to think of a few sort of big top tips, I guess, for using videos that I've learned or that I've gleaned via like student responses, either in student evaluations or comments to me. So, and then we'll get into some more of the technical things about how you use Screencast and things like that. So the first one is show your face. This actually is a comment that I get almost every semester from my online students, is that they like that I have, you know, like a picture-in-picture thing in the recording where I'm showing in my videos, I have the slides and then I have a video in the corner of me presenting. I guess many professors don't do that, and the students really respond to actually seeing who their instructor is. So even though it seems very simple, that seems really effective in a way to engage students in the content. Excuse me. Like I said before, sorry, I have a cold. The second thing I thought of that I get comments on is to break the lectures into short segments. And I have to admit, the first reason why I was making my lectures into short segments is that I didn't realize that we had a student or a university license for a screencast where we could make longer videos. And it was just the first time I started using it, it was limiting me to 15 minutes for each video, which after talking to Jose, he's like, oh, you just need to log in with your FIT credentials and then you get the like official version or something. I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. But what that actually did was it really made me try to figure out how I could break out my lectures into smaller pieces. And the students actually say that's very helpful, so they don't have to, say, sit down and try to watch a video for an hour or something, which I'll show some slides in a minute. That really just doesn't work. like students and probably any of us would not really be engaged with just watching a lecture video for that long, and having it broken up into little sections, maybe, you know, having a discussion question or a video, you know, like a outside video or something at the end of each section for them to sort of think about, or to link up the different sections, can be really helpful. And it just means that they don't have to sit down and do all the content right away. So that's something that seems to have worked for me. Use and edit your subtitles. So this is something that is really important for ADA accommodation and non-native speaker accommodation as well. But excuse me, it is really important to edit your subtitles. So like we'll see when Jose shows us sort of how to do some of the nuts and bolts of Screencast, it will do, I forget what it's called, you know, a spoken to text translation, but it's not perfect. And I'll show you an example of how that can be a little bit problematic. So subtitles are important, and if you are able to take the time and edit those subtitles, it can be really useful, especially to avoid sort of you know, miscommunications and things. The fourth note is, and I can show this in Blackboard if it's helpful. Link your videos as web links. There's a way to integrate Screencast-O-Matic automatically into Blackboard. I think, I forget exactly the term, but it's, you know, adding, there's an add content option for Screencast. However, when you do it that way and you try to copy your class content, say between two sections or from one semester to another semester, those links get broken. And so you have to redo all those links. And if you're like me, I hate having to redo something again that I've already done. So if you just link them as you would any other web link to a website, then the videos will copy over just fine. So you might want to just make a note, you know, in the title of the item on Blackboard, what exactly it is. It is a lecture video or something like that. But making as a web link and not as a screencast item is actually easier if you're going to be copying that class's content between semesters or between sections. And the last little tip, which again, maybe this is not something that needs to be written down, but you really need to try to be as energetic and engaging as when you're in the classroom, which is can be difficult when you're talking to a screen. But and this sort of goes along with the showing your face thing. I think this is really helpful because it can be hard for online students sometimes to really feel connected to the instructor or the material, especially when they're not having that sort of in-classroom experience. So anything you can do to try to sort of show why you think your content is exciting, or that you are really excited to teach your students what your class is about, can just be really helpful to sort of make the online teaching experience as close to an in-person experience as possible. Any questions or comments or points? Oh, so next are just some follow-ups to some of the points that I brought up. So yeah, I can go to the next one, Jose, and then there's something else that'll pop up. Sorry, maybe I should have driven this part. So this came up when I was editing a video I was making for, you can click again, Jose. I was making for a conference presentation. If you notice, there was a very silly typo that occurred, that I don't think there were any sexy bunnies in my presentation. And just so you know, this is not the kind of picture that you get if you actually Google a sexy bunny. So just FYI. So it can be really important to take the time to edit those subtitles. It can be really tedious, but once you do it, it's done. And then, you know, you won't have any issues like this. And so these next two slides are just, I'm a scientist. Sorry, I forgot even to introduce myself at the beginning even. I'm a science professor, I'm an ecologist. So data is always helpful for me. And this these studies that they're pretty basic studies, basic analyses of attention to different videos online. I think these were all in regards to like teaching videos, like either from YouTube or from a different platform that sponsors educational videos. Yeah, these studies are relatively old, like, I mean, 5 or more years old, but they came out during the pandemic when everyone was teaching online and trying to figure out how to do online teaching better. And 2 studies basically showed that the optimal length for people paying attention to videos is about 6 minutes. So this isn't thinking about keeping your lectures into short segments. So what this is showing here, I guess I'm not sure if you can see, you probably can't point. Did they get rid of the pencil drawing option in Blackboard, Jose? I don't know if I can do that. Anyways, what this is showing, oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just going to say that since I'm sharing the screen, only I can point.
Oh, got it. So yeah, basically it's showing, I don't think the colors of these points matter. This is length on the x-axis, on the bottom is time, and then on the y-axis is the time spent watching the video. And most students seem to watch the video for about 6 to 9 minutes, and then there was a pretty steep sort of decline in attention. So well, I don't think any of my videos were 6 minutes long. It's just showing that, you know, having longer videos, you just have diminishing returns in terms of students paying attention. And you can click to the next slide as well. It shows very similar data. This is a different sort of metric. This is still time on the x-axis and then just average engagement, which I can't remember exactly what that means. Maybe it's just watching. But this is showing that at about 6 minutes, there's kind of a plateau. Yeah, 6 to 7 minutes is kind of a plateau. Yeah, a little bit further to the right, Jose, but basically, you know, after 6 or so minutes, everyone's sort of, there's been a big drop off in attention. So keeping the videos sort of as, you know, short as you can seems to be the best idea. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to make a video in one of your classes be just 6 minutes long, but I just thought this was a nice, you know, bit of data to show why it's important to try to break up those videos into shorter pieces. Okay, Hillary, I'll get to your question in just a second. We'll go to the next slide, Jose. Now I can't remember what I have next. Okay, I'm just showing what Screencast-O-Matic and Loom look like. So this is just an example of the sort of, I don't know the term, but the page on Screencast where you can organize your videos. This shows sort of a thumbnail of what one of my videos looks like with my photo or my video up in the corner, and then my lecture slides on the main screen. And we can go over some of these details later. But you're able to sort of organize, as you see on the left-hand side, there's sort of a set of folders. You can organize all your videos by your classes, things like that. So that can be really helpful for you going back and editing or rearranging, finding things that you want. So let's go to the next one, Jose. So this is for Loom, and I end up actually, I don't know why exactly, but I use Loom more for like little short messages to my students. So one thing that can be good and bad about Screencast is that it automatically backs up your video to your computer. Oh, thank you, Ron. Yeah, sorry about your connection, but yeah, this will be recorded. So thanks for coming. So for something about Screencast, it seems to be, at least for me, it seems to be better in terms of use for longer videos, where you want to have, you know, all the subtitles there. You want to have longer content. But what it does is it does automatically back up that video to your hard drive. And with my like laptop, it seems to be, you know, it gets full really quickly. I need to, you know, probably update it. So if you have like a big desktop computer, if you have a big hard drive, it may not be a big issue, but with Loom, it basically just uploads them automatically to their sort of online website. So you don't need to have a backup on your hard drive automatically. And I just sort of have that for more of these sort of short videos that I don't really mind if I don't have a backup for them. So that's just how I've chosen to use both of them. I know that my colleague Jen uses Loom for almost everything. She likes their integration. I think that it's mainly, it's more web-based is what she likes. Also, the video is a circle instead of a square, and she thinks the circle is a little more fun. So you can kind of see which one you end up liking more. They both have very easy user interfaces, so there may not be a real reason why you like one or the other, just whatever seems to work for you. I don't think there's any more. Okay, this is actually what I just said. We can go to the next slide. Yeah, so I seem to prefer Screencast-O-Matic for lectures and then Loom for short messages for students, which I try to do sometimes for my online classes, especially when they don't get to sort of see you live all the time. Yeah, so I'll get to that in just 2 seconds, Hillary. Thanks. So when you use both Screencast and Loom, you can either share just your screen, say like a lecture slide or presentation, whatever is on your screen. You can share your screen and a video of you presenting, or you can share just the video of yourself. So any of those options work. With the, and Jose might show this in a minute, with the institution license for Screencast. Oh, sorry about the sirens. I'll put it out the window. With our institution license for Screencast, I think you're able to share sound from your computer as well, and instead of just from your microphone, which otherwise you can't do. So to get to Hillary's question about can you share videos while you're like share screen and make, oh, sorry. Okay. I thought she was asking about sharing videos, but so you may not be able to say you have like a video with sound integrated into your lecture. You may not be able to do that with Loom. Actually, I'm not sure. And I actually sort of like to keep those separate just to sort of make it easier for students to find different items, either the lecture or the sort of outside videos that I bring in. But with the institution license for Screencast-O-Matic, you are able to share the sound from your computer. So if you do want to share like a short video or have some commentary as the video is going, you can do that with the Screencast license. So let's see, maybe these are getting into some questions that Jose can answer about. So we have, FIT has access to both Loom and Screencast-O-Matic. Hillary, yes, you can share a screen while you're talking. And I can even show an example video later if it's helpful. Jose, do you want to start filling some of these questions about the sort of technical stuff, and then we can sort of see where I can help?
Sure. Let me go and look at the chat real quick. So the question about Loom, we don't have a pro account with Loom, but just like Evie mentioned, it's free to everyone. I think they just made it free after the remote period. So they're not charging. I don't think Loom is charging for it. So the free version became free to all, I guess. That's the last time I checked. And then Karen said, asking, does Loom have editing capability? No. So that's one big difference between Loom and Screencast-O-Matic, where Screencast-O-Matic you can actually do editing, like if you were in iMovie or Premiere Pro or Final Cut, where Loom doesn't have those type of editing, like adding a layer, adding titles. I think Loom is very limited.
Mention those. That is helpful, and that just thinking of some other sort of added functions that Screencast-O-Matic has that Loom doesn't, which is another reason why I often use Loom for just sort of shorter, less official, I guess, videos.
Right. Or if you do, let's say you do a flub, or you may say the wrong things, or you stumble on a word, and with Loom you would start the recording, start over the recording, and that you can fix, like live editing, and with Screencast-O-Matic, if you don't want to enter the editing suite in Screencast-O-Matic, what it does is once you're done with the recording, you can play back the recording, find the flub or the mistake, and you can record over, just like we used to do back in the 90s, a tape deck, and go back and that's my,
I've done
you
that
know,
I've done that by accident, unfortunately, before. I've tried to edit and then I've like gotten rid of half a lecture and I really wanted to throw my computer out the window. So it might be good to do some practice before you edit for real, because I'm not very versed in this. If you have experience with editing, maybe it's not a big deal, but that is not a skill that I have normally, and I definitely made some mistakes. So before you edit, you might want to try do some practice.
I do want to just real quick, Evie, I just want to throw in a plug-in. We do Michael Coquinos, who teaches a course in communications here at FIT. He helped me do the Video Maker series, and that's already saved on our YouTube channel. And so if you're interested in how to edit with Screencast-O-Matic, you can visit our YouTube channel, and we go in depth on how to use the splicing tool, titles, shapes, transitions, everything. There's a ton of features in Screencast-O-Matic for editing. So if you're interested in that, you can go over to our YouTube channel and look up Video Maker series, and you will find Professor Coquino's tutorial. It's a 3-part series on production, pre-production, production, and post-production. So we really go deep into editing. So I'll jump back to Evie.
That might be the last slide. And I mean, I don't know if it would be helpful to show what some of my videos look like. I'm not sure what people want to see next.
Oh, sure. Let me get out. So yeah, that was your last slide. Yeah, maybe Evie, I don't know if you want to share your screen.
Yeah, sure.
And maybe show them. Maybe we can show the workflow.
Okay.
That would be a nice.
Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. So I probably want to share my whole screen for this, huh?
Sure. If you can, let me know, and then I can. If you want.
No, it should be okay. Usually I try to just share a portion so I don't have bandwidth issues. So we'll see how this goes.
I love the art gallery behind you.
Yeah, I've been updating it recently. These are mainly from my son, some from my daughter, but okay. So let's see. So this is in Screencast-O-Matic. So I've already logged in, but you want to make sure to log in with your FIT account. And Jose, is there something in particular people have to do to make sure they get the right access for Screencast, all the functions?
I would say just to make sure that that when you go to Screencast-O-Matic, you'll see at the top there where on Evie's address bar is screencast-o-matic.com, and just like Evie said, just type in, log in with your FIT account.
Yeah, so I think so here's all those settings. I'm already signed in. So I guess I'm going to show you what my website looks like, and then I can see if I can show you how you actually make one. So yeah, this is what I've tried to do, some organization. I'm not sure if I've done it very well, but you're able to sort of find all of your videos, and all of them are basically lecture slides along with a video of me presenting. It's taking a little bit. Here we go. So, and I'll go to. Okay, here we go. So this was me presenting about some climate change stuff in my ecology class. But let's see if we can start from the beginning and how we would start a new video. So this is where you would go to open. Oh, sorry about the sirens again. My street's very noisy. Oh, that's video editor. Okay, here we go. I haven't actually made a new video in a little while, so I have to remember. Install recorder app. What? I already have it. Hang on. Let's see if I can find this. Sorry, it's being slow here. Maybe I haven't updated it in a while or something. I don't know why this isn't working, guys. Jose, do you think that I just have to update it or something? I'm not sure what's going on
sure.
here.
If you did you click on the little microphone icon there at the top? Oh, it's asking you for download. I can
Maybe
I
I'll
have
stop sharing for now, and you can.
Sure. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, I'll try to download it. I'm not sure what's going on. Sorry, guys.
No worries. No worries. It always happens in a live workshop. There's always. Let me share my screen. Okay. And there's the infinite mirror. Here we go. Screencast-O-Matic. Okay, and let me just minimize this because this is getting me dizzy. I apologize. I have like a billion windows open here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Evie, do you want me? You want to guide me, or should I? You want me to?
Why don't you just go? I'm trying to fix my thing, so why don't you just get it started? Thanks.
Oh, okay, okay. So there's two ways to approach a recording with Screencast-O-Matic. You can simply just click on the, I like to call it the blue Target logo, just like in Target, instead of red, it's blue. So if you do have Screencast-O-Matic installed on your computer, you can just click on it and it opens. But if this is a video that is for your course, you can you can simply go into Blackboard. And if you go to Blackboard, let me see if I have my Blackboard open. If you go to Blackboard, you can simply go to Build Content, right? And so from Build Content, you will notice that there is here my computer is slowly opening, but under Build Content, you will see that the drop-down menu has Screencast-O-Matic in there already, right? So let me see if I go to my sandbox. Let me just log out. Okay, let me just log in back to Blackboard. Here we go. So one way I like to, one workflow that I like to show Evie is I have them go directly into Blackboard and then go into your content area of your course. And then from there, find the folder where you want this video to live in, right? So let's say if I want that video to go into my Unit 1, then you go into that folder, open the folder, and then from there you can just click Build Content and then choose Screencast-O-Matic from the dropdown. And the reason why I do this is because now that I'm in the folder where I want that video to live in, the video will get dropped directly in the location where I want it to be in. So let's say if I want to go to Unit 1, Week 1, I go to Week 1 folder. Then from here, I just click Build Content.
So Jose, this might be the note that I made about making your videos as web links. So I think it's good that everything's integrated for Blackboard, so you don't have to search through the different websites. But I have the feeling that when you do it this way, it won't copy into a new section. You have to you have to fix the link every time.
Oh, I remember you told me that.
Yeah, so if you tried to say like copy this Week 1 folder into a new section, I don't know if the screencast content would actually automatically copy that link. At least when I tried to do this, or when I would add, when I would add a video,
right.
Like just like you did without me, I wouldn't make it on through doing I wouldn't start on Blackboard. I usually would start from the Screencast website and use the recorder from there. But it seems like when I would add it and it would show up with that the target symbol and then try to copy it, it wouldn't copy the actual link. I'd have to fix it every time.
That's right. That's right. I remember you mentioning that to me. Since I don't have I don't I don't teach at FIT, I haven't had the opportunity to copy the course over to a new semester. So I have to, yeah, that's something I have to work with Screencast-O-Matic, see if I can get that to fix it. Because unfortunately, that will cause, like Evie is saying, you know, you have to go back in and fix that web link, you know, fix the relink it again. So in that case, right, Evie, then in that case, what we can do is, just like Evie was doing, then from here, go to screencast-o-matic.com and open it up in a new tab. And then just like Evie was doing, click on the launch recorder to start a new recording.
Yeah, if you want to make a recording, you can start just from here. And then if you already have made one in your sort of on the website where it has all of your content, there's an option just to copy the link to the video, and then you can link, you know,
Right.
just add that link in as like a normal web link, and then it'll it won't sort of break when you copy your Blackboard content.
Right. Right. And you know, and from there, then you get this little. It's very minimal. It's not that invasive. Screencast-O-Matic, as you can see, you can just grab the little tag at the left-hand side from the record button. You can basically move it anywhere, so it's not obstructing the view of your screen. And this is what Evie was talking about in her presentation. This is the three options that Evie mentioned: the screen record, webcam, or both. So if you're interested in just recording the screen, you would choose screen capture. If you want what we call a talking head video, that's just you speaking to your students, like let's say an announcement or you know, just giving, you know, just it will be just you speaking directly to your students. It'll be a talking head, which is from the top of your head to your shoulders. And then Evie also mentioned this option, which is both. And in this case, you get the screen as well as the little picture.
Yeah, that's what Hillary mentioned, and that's what you would do, Hillary, if you wanted to have your lecture slides. Like you would open your PowerPoint or whatever you use for your lecture notes, and then that video that you see up in the upper right, you can move that around. Like you can show how, yeah, you can drag that to wherever you want. Like, you know, if it's covering up some of your text, you can move it, but that'll always stay on top. So whatever is on your screen, you'll always have the little video on top of it.
And Hillary, this is similar to how Loom you have the circle, but in Screencast-O-Matic is a square. I actually like the circle. It's fancy. It looks fancy. It looks nice.
Yeah. The circle is fancier somehow, but I don't know why.
It just looks sleek. I don't know. Something about it looks. But this is another cool feature that you get with Screencast-O-Matic that you won't get in Loom, which is if you do go with the bow feature, you get live switching, which is nice to have, because if you go with both, and in the middle of your lecture, you're switching from your slides, and then you want to tell them about the midterm that's coming up next week, then you can click on this button and you live switch to your talking head. And now they're just looking at you directly. And so let's say I just finished my lecture and I want to tell them about, oh, class, get ready for next week. There's going to be a midterm. And then if you want to go back to the slide, then you can click this button. And now you go back to a little window. And that's really nice to have, that little feature, which is called live switching in real time. Anything else, Evie, we should talk about here?
So the last little option in that menu is the computer audio, which yeah, I'm not sure how, I mean, unless you wanted to say show like a YouTube video and then have commentary over it, I'm not sure how useful it is to integrate the videos into your lectures. I kind of like having them separate so the students can like pick when they want to watch them. But if you say wanted to sort of, you know, have some notes, you know, some audio notes over a video or something, or if it was something very short, then you can make sure that it's also capturing the audio from your computer.
Here's a quick use case for that, Evie. There was a professor that I know, she needed B-roll footage. And so let's say she was lecturing on, you know, a specific garment or knitting. And so what she did was, just like you said, she went to YouTube and, you know, she recorded the video from Screencast-O-Matic, and then turn on computer audio so that she actually got the audio coming in um, from YouTube. And then that was then recorded into her video, that little section that she wanted from that video, and then she incorporated that into her lecture. And so that's what that's how you can
That's
bring
an
in.
interesting way. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was nice, a nice way, to have to bring in
You
a
have like some
B-roll footage.
background and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
So should we do a quick one, Evie? Should we do a
Yeah,
quick
sure. We
recording?
can do a practice one. Yeah.
Here I think I have PowerPoint slides. Do I have something open? Oh, I was helping a friend of mine in her Japanese course. So maybe we could use this.
Why not?
Here's my Japanese. So let's do, what should we do? Screen?
Why don't you do
Screencast?
both? Let's do both because that's probably the one that's the most common. Yeah.
All right, so let's do both. So make sure that, like Evie mentioned in her presentation, max time, right? With the Pro account, it's unlimited, so you can leave it to none. I like to leave it to full screen because that allows me the flexibility to shoot in full screen at 1440. But you also can switch it to, if you only want to record a small section of the screen, you can always play around with that by changing the resolution or the video size. But let's keep it.
You'll see once we start recording, you can actually change the part of the screen that you're capturing. So if like you're recording on a really large screen or something, you want to just be in the sort of center where your slides are, you can actually sort of shift where that recording is coming from.
That's an excellent point. Again, Screencast-O-Matic is super flexible in many ways, which I keep learning new things. But also, this is highly, highly, highly important. Don't forget, if you're not getting a green meter here, it's not picking up your audio. So just make sure that the decibels are going up and down here. If not, it means that either your microphone is not connected or something is wrong with your microphone. Therefore, you will not get any audio if this is not moving like this.
Also, this is sort of a technical note just from all the remote teaching we had to do. I have issues with my Bluetooth headphones, kind of, with connecting or not to my computer. That's sometimes been an issue. Often students have issues, especially with the Apple ones. I forget what they're called, the little tiny ones. Like if you are recording the sound from the headphone and not from your computer. Also, I try to do all my lectures, even with I just have like one headphone in just to sort of not have any computer noises, because sometimes I'll listen to professors' lectures or students' lectures and you'll hear their phones going off or like their email announcements and stuff, and it can just be really distracting. So I really recommend any of your videos or remote teaching to be done with headphones on, just to sort of limit those distractions that you may not sort of account for when you're setting up to teach. And of course, there's always going to be city noise, and we're in New York, that kind of thing, but that can just be a really simple way to sort of reduce any extra distractions.
That's an excellent tip. And so once you have your, your presentation ready, then you can just go ahead. Once you have your, your slides ready, then you can go ahead and click the record button. This is going to give you a 3-second timer just to get you, give you a heads up to get ready. And so you're going to see that right now when I click record.
So you might want to, Jose, what I would do. Oh, okay. Well, you can always pause. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Never mind. We're going.
And I can pause. Let me pause it. Go ahead, Evie.
Yeah, see, that's what's nice. You can pause it, and then, but also I would make your screen look exactly like you want it at the beginning of your presentation. So if you want your slides to be full screen, then just make them full screen. You'll always have that menu bar and your video on top. So if you wanted to make like the presentation start from the beginning or something, Jose, I'm not sure what it says, but you want to go to the first slide or something just to have like a title or something like that.
That's excellent. There we go.
I know no Japanese, but we can just go with it.
But also like Evie mentioned earlier, you see, we did start the recording, so it's at 3 seconds. But if to start over, you can just simply click the trash can, and that will start over. So that's the one thing about Screencast-O-Matic that I really like. That's very forgiving. Evie gave some great examples of that, but there, don't get stressed out about mistakes. With Screencast-O-Matic, just like Evie said, you can even remove your webcam if you don't like the way you looked. So there's many, even though you've done the recording, you can always go back in the edit mode and change a lot of these things. I think there was a question.
I didn't see any in the chat. It's not from me. It's not. It's supposed to be something else. That's why you wear your headphones, Jose.
I know.
So we don't hear the blinging sounds.
No, that's a good point. Here, so here we're back. Sorry, PowerPoint.
There we go.
And Screencast-O-Matic. Okay, and then I'm gonna just hit record real quick, and the 3 seconds are gonna come up, and then I'm just gonna maximize this, just like Evie said. And yeah, so oops, I should have put this.
You can do it in presenter mode, Jose. Why don't you do it in the presenter mode so they see what it looks like? If you were say presenting in a.
Sure.
No, that's not it. It's the little. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, my computer's going a little slow. I got so many things open.
Oh, that's okay. But this is like what you if you're presenting in a classroom. That's how it would look. But why is your video not there? It should be there.
Yeah, maybe I'm not sure, but maybe. But from here, usually what I do is I just continue, presenting as I go through the slides. There's also an annotation tool here at the bottom that you can actually. Well, this is through PowerPoint, right? So you can actually use the pen tool to annotate if you want to annotate. It's making me hungry here over here. This you can annotate, and so with PowerPoint, you can use some of the tools from PowerPoint, even though you're using Screencast-O-Matic to record. And once you're done with the recording, for me, Evie, I think it's asking me to close my presentation and then.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Usually I just click the, present, start from the presentation from the beginning or whatever that button is. Maybe because you clicked the full screen button, like the maximize button. I'm not sure. That might be why we couldn't see our recording. See, so Jose, try to just hit the present button, the one that just is present from beginning or something.
Oh, this one? Play from current
I can't.
slide.
It's too small for me to see what it says.
Oh,
yeah,
that's why.
There it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great,
Yeah.
Evie. I learned. Yes. I was wondering why wasn't it showing from bottom left corner? Okay, that makes sense.
So if you just click the present button like you would if you were in the classroom, it looks just like this. So you'll see in the lower left, there's that little pause button. You can always pause it if you need to remember what you're going to say or something. Like Jose said, you can click on the video and move it around. Using those annotate tools can be really helpful. I mean, you'll see when we I guess this is still recording, which is fine. When we go into the editing mode for the screencast video, there will be a little yellow circle around your cursor, so it will help the students follow your cursor. So if you want to point and stuff, but doing the annotate in PowerPoint can be really helpful. I really encourage you to do that because I've seen some videos where the professor's like, well, look on the upper left corner of this picture and here's this thing. It's just harder for students to follow. If you were in the classroom, you'd be pointing to your screen. So, if there's a way for you to just note where you want the students to be looking if you want them to focus on something, that's really helpful.
And also to demonstrate what Evie spoke about during her presentation, if you want to stop and pause and then regroup, or if you have to use the restroom or something and come back, and then you can just hit record and you pick up from where you left off. So it doesn't have to be a full marathon of recording.
How about we just pretend that we're done with this video, and then I'm realizing it's already almost 10 to 1. So yeah.
Oh, so this is the most important part because Evie mentioned it in her presentation about captions. So before we upload our video, we make sure you go to edit video, and that's where you can add those captions. So let's go ahead and click edit.
Oh, you probably have to click out of their presentation now. Oh, never mind. It's still letting you see it. Okay, we're good.
And so this is.
Make your screencast screen a little bit bigger, Jose. I'm not sure. It's a little bit hard to see.
Sure. There we go.
Okay.
And here you can play back, and then you can watch what we just recorded, just like Evie said. and I hate hearing my voice.
I know it's weird.
It's
You
so
can see
weird.
that their cursor has a, well, maybe not. If you play it, you can even, I'm not sure if you can turn the sound off if you don't want to hear your voice, but you can see the cursor hello circle around it.
Right. There it is. But again, with Screencast-O-Matic, if you don't like the cursor, you can just simply remove it by clicking this little checkbox here and the cursor. Also, the webcam. If you're not happy with how the webcam came out, fine, you can just remove it, and you can even move it around and change it and make it bigger if you want to from here and grab one of the corners and extend it. But the main thing I wanted to showcase here is like Evie mentioned, ADA compliant. We need to make our videos ADA compliant. They have to have captions. That is a high priority for the school. Any school you go to now has to be ADA compliant when you produce your own videos. And so Screencast-O-Matic will auto-generate those captions by clicking on this plus sign here. Make sure it's on English, speech to text, just like Evie described it. And then click Start. And it will auto-generate. Let's see if I get the sexy bunny again.
Yeah, it'll take a little bit. Something about prison. Well, that's not right.
Look at this one. I got something dope.
Awesome. See, so this is why it's important to edit your captions, because it is not great. I think I've heard that the captions on Google and like Zoom are really good, but I haven't used them before. I think different algorithms probably are, better or worse. It's still really helpful, but yeah, it's a good idea to go through and edit those so you don't have these little silly typos.
And real quick, as we're running out of time, if you don't know what you said here and you don't know why this is coming out wrong, you can simply click on this little play button here, and it will just play this segment just so that you can hear your audio and then correct it. And the correction can then be made by just simply highlighting the incorrect word and just typing right over it. It could be whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Once this is done, just simply click OK. And the last step basically is you click Done. And this is where you have to make a decision. Do you want to save your video to your computer? Do you want to save it to Screencast-O-Matic? Or do you want it to go to YouTube? And that's where you have to decide where they're going to live. And these two are cloud-based. I usually
do Screencast-O-Matic, and it does seem to still back up. There might be an option somewhere to have it not make a recording on your computer. I don't know how to do it, but I just chose to do Screencast-O-Matic just because I don't use YouTube very much for my own videos, and it seems easy enough to organize things in that Screencast-O-Matic website. So that's what I choose for mine.
I second that, and for my reason for going with Screencast-O-Matic is because last semester I had a professor who had a family emergency, unfortunately, and she had to leave the class, and then all her videos were on YouTube, and days after the incident, YouTube decides to pull down all her videos because of copyright issues, and they didn't have a replacement for her, and then now we were relying on those videos on YouTube, but they were all taken down. So with Screencast-O-Matic, you're not going to have that problem with policies about copyright infringements because it's our own server, and so you don't have to worry about having those videos being taken down. So just one thing to keep in mind is that YouTube is now becoming more strict on copyright issues, and it might not even be a copyright problem. They'll still take it down for whatever reason, and then you have to go through a whole claims and try to get your videos back up. In this case,
Hillary asked if we can upload it to both, and I actually don't know if we can upload it to both YouTube and Screencast-O-Matic.
Yes, you could do both, but you can't do it at the same time. You would just have to do one at a time. For example, I can do Screencast-O-Matic now and just publish it this way.
Yeah, there's a way to change that video. Well, anyways, you can change all those. Yeah, it'll take a little bit to process, and then when like I showed what my sort of, I guess, landing page, I don't know the terms, the spot on the Screencast-O-Matic where all my content is. You can edit the title. You can edit if the link is public or unlisted, and Jose mentioned in the course that I took with him to keep it unlisted so that unless you want people to be able to say search on through Screencast to find your videos. But if you want to keep it within your course, probably keeping it unlisted is best, because then whoever just has the link can find it. It's not searchable. But yeah, so it takes a little bit to process, but then it'll be uploaded to your website, and then you can share it to your Blackboard site.
That's an excellent point. I did go by too quick on that part, but yes, make sure that you make it unlisted if you don't want anybody at FIT to see it. But also, to answer Hillary's question, once this uploads to Screencast-O-Matic, you can then just go to your browser. Let me see if I can exit this, and then from there you can go to Screencast-O-Matic, and from here, sorry, my computer is now really slowing up. But from Screencast-O-Matic, once that video that we just created is in your content area, then you can simply click on the edit tool and open that video up one more time. And then this time you would just select YouTube, right? Since the first time we did it to Screencast-O-Matic, so this is the recording that I just did, is this one. You would just open it up again, and now this time you would choose YouTube, so that you have it both, it's Screencast-O-Matic and then as well as YouTube.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. It really is very flexible, and like Jose said, it's very forgiving. There are like some editing, tools that we didn't really go over, and I'm realizing we're almost out of time, really. But you can sort of relatively easily edit. It'd probably be, again, a good idea to take one of those, look at those videos that Jose mentioned about editing, or do some practice before you accidentally delete half your lecture like I did, which I was not happy about. But I really like both of these tools. We didn't really talk about Loom very much. It has a web-based sort of interface, as well as one that you download. It's very user-friendly, but that one I think it's easier for sort of shorter or less sort of official videos, where you just want to like walk students through a tool, or if you want to just send them a message. Or I've also used it to give students feedback on presentations that were remote. I'll have their slides up, and I'll talk over them to say what the feedback is for those presentations. Something that I'm not too worried about having things be perfect, I guess, or have as many sort of editing options and things like that.
I just want to make a quick mention. I know we're running out of time, but Evie made a great example of how she uses Loom for quick videos that you can just communicate with students at a more human level. Like, they see your face, they hear your voice, and it's an amazing way to communicate with students, as opposed to writing an email, and sometimes it's lost in translation. The message is sometimes lost in translation. So Loom has that feature, but Screencast-O-Matic, I don't know if you're familiar, Evie, they just came out with ScreenPal, which is an extension that now you can actually go anywhere, either on Blackboard or even on your email, and it's called ScreenPal. So if you go to the Chrome store, we're going to do a workshop on this, but I just want to let you all know that this is available. It's on beta right now, but it is currently working, and basically what you can do is, at any moment's notice, click on the button on the Chrome extension, and it automatically opens up the recording. And then what it does is it inserts that video into the email or into Blackboard, whatever it is, even the grading feedback on Blackboard. And on an email, if you send out to students, they simply hover over the little thumbnail, and it automatically starts playing. They don't even have to, from the email itself. So Screencast-O-Matic is coming up with really cool stuff. We are going to have a workshop on that tool later on, but
I think Loom already has something similar to that, where it sort of already integrates that little sort of email option. If you use Gmail, you can there's a little Loom button that'll pop up if you want to do that. I mean, that's harder when I usually email my students through Blackboard, so that's not as easy, but they're both very easy to use. And just thinking about, students making connections. Actually, yesterday, had a student stop me in the hall being like, "Oh, are you Professor Evie?" I'm like, yeah. I don't recognize all my students because I have a hard time with the masks recognizing people. And she's like, oh, I'm in your online class, and I just emailed you the other day. I'm like, oh, that's nice. And so, I'd actually never met her in person because she's an online student. So she seemed very happy to actually see me as a real person. So, but she must have recognized me from the videos because otherwise she wouldn't know who I was.
But it makes a huge difference, just like Evie said. Oh, to answer your question, Hillary, yes, you can actually do the same thing and incorporate that video, integrate it into the discussion post, as opposed to typing the prompt. All right, we hit it right at the mark. Evie, you are amazing. I want to thank you. I mean, you're everything. You're a scientist, you're a mom, you're a teacher. You wear so many hats, and to take some time and show us what you've been doing. And we joined FIT around the same time. I remember.
Yeah, we used to be at Columbia actually together, and now we're both here. But I like that you have all the technical know-how that I don't have. So I think it's a good team here, Jose.
Well, thank you again. I mean, you're amazing. You keep doing the amazing work that you're doing. Your students are very lucky to have you. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And thanks for everybody who joined and for your questions. And if anyone wants to reach out to me or to Jose, you can always email us, and we're happy to respond and help if that's helpful.